Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm sharing a more intuitive art journal spread where I've used various materials, so it's totally mixed media. I'm working in my junk art journal. It's a journal I made with an old book cover, and I just added in lots of leftover papers or old book pages. Here you see me gluing down a piece of an old tea bag with gel medium. I have made a lot of painted tea bags, I think about 2 years ago or so, and I will link you up my playlist of that tea bag art in the description box. I'm always using the big tea bags you can fill on your own. I'm adding also all book pages and stuff that is laying on my desk at the moment. After the background is dry, I go in with acrylic paints and I just add them intuitively to my page. Here I'm mixing up a turquoise with some white to create a brighter turquoise. I have different brands of acrylic paints. My favorites are the ones from Amsterdam, and I also have a lot of the Schminke Academy. And recently I tried out the Liquitex Basics, and I think they are also really good. I'm using a black watercolor pencil to add some scribbly marks to my page. I often dip the nib into water to create a deeper black line with it. I also add in some white gesso to get some white area on my page. I really love to have some white space on the page. Together with really dark areas, you get a higher contrast, which makes a page look more interesting. I heat set the background with my heat tool, and then I go in with my PanPastels. I haven't used them for such a long time. I believe the last time I've used them was for jelly printing, and I will link up this video in the top right corner info box of the video screen so you can watch it if you're interested. It's really nice technique to play with the PanPastels on the jelly plate. I'm applying the colors just randomly, and after I am done I need to fix it with a fixative because they will come off the page, of course. When you're using pastels with a fixative, you have to make sure not to use any ink on the page that will react with the fixative. so the archival ink or the StazOn ink will bleed when you spray them with the traditional fixative. So you have to use a ink that is, for example, water soluble, such as distress ink, and then use the fixative on top. This will also fix the ink, I believe, or you just wait for your stamping until your background is done, so you can play with the stamps on top of the dried fixative. I also used some pastel pencils because they are really nice to create some marks on the page. I already had some stamping underneath from the page that is in the journal, but as this is covered up with a layer of the teabag and the gel medium, it won't react with the fixative. So this is also something you can do when you have stamping underneath. First add a layer of gel medium or clear gesso, and then go on with your pastels, and I think then you can use the fixative without any problems. Here you see me stamping. I have already fixed the pastels, and now I go in with, I believe it's StazOn or archival ink, and I just stamp some background images. I now go in with my watercolors and just add some color here and there, and I think that pink, neon pink, matches perfectly with that turquoise. Before I move on adding color, I'm adding my focal image. I just lay it onto the page to see where I want to put which color, so that the final result will look cohesive. The flower is a stamp from my brand new stamp set, Flowers Gone Wild, and I have stamped it to watercolor paper and colored it in also with watercolors, and I used the same pink for the flower that I have already on the background. As always, I have linked up my blog post where you can see the close-up images of that project. Just a quick note, because it seems some people were wondering about the last video I've posted. It was a promotion video for a workshop where I am part of. It's an awesome mixed media summer class during the whole summer with 9 awesome mixed media artists, but it's in German, so it's not in English, so I think it might be not interesting for the most of you. But of course I wanted to share it here so that everyone has a chance to join, because I also have some German viewers. I'm really looking forward to that workshop, because normally I'm teaching live here in my hometown, and as this is not possible at the moment, this is a super great alternative. I'm heat setting the whole page with my heat tool before I keep on playing, and this time I grabbed my Oil Pastels, and I haven't worked with them for a long time in my journals. I always enjoyed it, but the problem is when you close your journal with that oil pastel on top, you will mess up the page, because it will transfer from the one page to the other side. Not completely, but it will make a mess. and I thought about how I could avoid that. And this time I decided just to cover up the areas where I've used the oil pastels with a thin layer of gel medium. And that will fix them, and that will not ruin my page. Of course, you have to be a little bit careful not to wipe too much over the areas with watercolors, but that normally works really good. I grabbed some more pieces from my stash. These are the free printables you can download on my website. There is no need to log into any kind of newsletter. You can just click through to my website and then download the pictures. And here I'm cutting out that flower, and I am not sure which piece I will use finally, but I am sure we will see soon. Finally, I decided that I will use none of the printables on my page. Here I try to use that circle. That's my normal process. I lay pieces on top and then I check if I like it or if it fits. And if it doesn't, I just put it into my box on my desk and maybe I can use it next time. I love that idea with that half circle. And I just use a paper I painted on an old book page, and I just cut out a piece of that, and then I will stick this down instead. To make it match my page even more, I add a little bit of that pink color. Before I glue anything to the page, I go in with the Posca markers and add just some art marks to the page to increase the interest. I love the way of mark making using stamps, and here I'm using one of the brand new mixed media mark stamps that I have released, I believe, 2 weeks ago. Finally, I glued down the flower just with some simple wet glue, and here I'm adhering that piece of book page with a glue stick. To finish the page up, I'm adding a sentiment, which comes also with that flower stamp set. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I hope we see us next time. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!